It can run Microsoft Office, connect to Windows file and print servers, plug into Active Directory managed networks, and run native Windows applications using Boot Camp or virtualization software, which is interesting. We do that as well down at Disney. We have the official approved product that we use is Parallels. It's similar to VMware Fusion. It's just a different product. And several of our users do actually use Windows on their Macs, especially because the Mac up until now hasn't really supported Microsoft Exchange. And actually, Microsoft hasn't really supported, though they don't have a good Macintosh product for their mail. Outlook is fantastic on the Windows side. There's nothing really that compares to it on the Mac side. Nothing from Apple and nothing from Microsoft. We do install Microsoft Office 2008 on all of our Macs, but it just, that Microsoft Entourage, which is the equivalent to Outlook on the Mac, on the Windows side, doesn't cut it. It's not as good as Outlook. So that is changing. It's about to change. Microsoft just came out with Office 2011 for Macintosh. It does have a Outlook client. There's hopes for that to be much better than the Entourage. We haven't deployed that yet due to some Microsoft challenges. So. But here they're talking about how mail, the icon on the left there, calendar and or iCal and address book all have the ability to connect to a Microsoft Exchange server 2007 or greater, and work pretty much seamlessly with that.
Sean?
Yes.
I have an iPhone, so it doesn't matter to me, because if I had this, obviously it would connect and sync to the Apple. But what about some of the other phones? How hard are they to sync to the telephones?
Well,
for the address book and email and that sort of thing.
You mean you don't mean telephones? You mean other services, a non-exchange?
No, I'm thinking of phones, the cell phones.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Androids and the Windows 7 phones and so on.
Mm-hmm.
BlackBerry.
Yeah, those all connect. They don't connect to the Mac. They communicate directly with the server. So, I mean, you can have an iPhone that you use to get your mail on that you never actually plug into your Mac or your PC.
Yeah, using Exchange, but what about those individual owners, like yourself at home, or you probably don't use Exchange at home? What about the connection there, the syncing?
The syncing happens at the device level. It doesn't happen through the computer. So I know that my iPhone and my iPad and my iPod Touch can all communicate with Microsoft Exchange Server 2007
But
natively.
if somebody doesn't have access to that.
Then they would use IMAP or POP. Did that answer your question? I'm not sure I understand the question. Maybe.
Well, I'm able to sync and get my addresses and my emails if I wanted them, and my calendar and so on, on the iPhone from a PC. Well, what if I had a BlackBerry and a Mac?
Oh, I see. Okay. So you want to synchronize your calendars and contacts with your BlackBerry?
Right.
Oh, okay. And you don't have an Exchange account,
Right.
to connect to your BlackBerry to. There are third-party products that Apple doesn't support, BlackBerry or Android. So you'd have to use a third-party product like I can't remember, but I can find out and let you know.
Okay, but that would be a consideration if somebody in here has one of those phones and was thinking about getting a Mac and they're using it.
Right.
It's something to consider.
Yes, I can send an email out and let you know what that is. There's actually two that I know of right off I can't think of them right now, but there are two, but I'm sure there's more than two that you could buy and install.
Or software that runs.
They're software. So you'd install it in the Mac,
Okay.
and then they support a wide variety of phones to synchronize. Yeah, good question. So anyway.
Do I win an iPad for that question?
You get an iPad? Yeah, just right over there on that desk in the back.
Arvin has 3.
So, anyway, Apple's pretty excited about being their products are able to synchronize with Microsoft Exchange because it is a great mail product or mail tool. Snow Leopard sells for $29 to Leopard users. The reason they did that, because ironically, Leopard before 2 years ago was $129. But the users, when they buy and install Snow Leopard, there's not much of a difference. You look at the I have to go in and look at about this Mac under the Apple menu. That's how you find out what version you're running, and that's why I can't. It's very difficult for me to just look at the screen and say, oh, that's Snow Leopard. So there a lot of the changes, or almost all of the changes, are under the hood. You don't really see them, but you will notice that your computer's faster. It just works better, and it's more solid and reliable. So, family pack, if you had multiple Macs, $49, and they got a box set for iLife is you may have heard of iTunes. iTunes is part of the iLife suite. There's iLife, there's iTunes, iPhoto, iMovie, iDVD, all things for doing media content, pretty much. And then I'm using an iWork product here to run the slideshow called Keynote. There's also another program in there called Pages, which I think I mentioned. That's a word processing program. And another spreadsheet, it's called Numbers. I don't know of anybody that uses that. It's not bad, but it's not real compatible with Excel. Excel outperforms that. So, things that you need to run Snow Leopard: an Intel processor in your Mac, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and 5 gigs of hard drive space. There you have it. We've got 2 more presentations about hardware instead. That was software. Are there any questions? You kind of asked them throughout. Yes.
Why don't we explain how easy it is to get rid of a program?
How easy it is to get rid of a program?
Compared to Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft, you have to jump through hoops to get rid of a program. In Apple, how quick is it?
Well, to uninstall a program in a Mac,
You just throw it to the
it's not as
trash can.
simple as you think.
You just take it to the trash can.
Well, yes, in some cases that's right.
That's all I've ever done so far.
Right, but I work with some pretty extensive programs. 2 of them being the Adobe Creative Suite. Adobe Creative Suite installs items not only in the applications folder, but also inside of a library folder and something called application support, inside of another folder called preferences. Several places you have to know where to look to delete the programs. But yeah, you can delete right from the applications folder. As long as you're an administrator, you can drag it to your trash can, empty the trash, and that program will no longer work. If you click on an icon, it will no longer work. But to get all the pieces and parts, in some cases you have to know where to look. But yeah, it can be very easy to uninstall programs.
I've uninstalled a couple of them and had no problem. I just brought the CD back and loaded it back in again.
Yeah, more than likely, consumer programs, that'll be the case. Very easy to uninstall. Some applications have some of those installer CDs will have uninstallers to catch the things that you're not quite sure about that are there, but that aren't obvious. Yes.
There's a Revo Undelete, I think it's called, program for Windows, which will literally go through your whole computer and take everything out, registry, everything. I mean, I don't know what the problem is.
Well, I don't know. Is there a problem?
I don't know why.
Oh, a problem about Windows?
Yeah, because it's so simple. I mean, you just put it into Revo Undelete and it'll go through everything.
Oh, there you go.
Let it run and
No.
everything out.
If you want to get rid of a program but remove one, you have to go to Start, then you have to go to Control Program, go up, Add, Remove Programs. After you click on that, you sit there for a long time till it populates the whole thing. Then you go down and you click on it and it goes over there, Add, Remove.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. It's complicated. Not only complicated, but it's time consuming.
Right.
Time consuming, and it's archaic
Right.
the way they do it.
Right.
Most of us use something called Revo uninstaller.
That's what he just mentioned.
Thank you.
John,
Yes.
I think one of the things that Mac users have as an advantage over Windows users is with Mac it just works. I think it ought to work. With Windows you have to think how Microsoft thinks it ought to work. And Mac actually is more.
if Snow Leopard is now based on Intel chips,